Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Vishnu and Shiva. Okay, so in previous videos we've talked about how using French and English for analysis of different languages, because all languages are created by God, and French and English have been basically provided for this purpose, amongst others. Okay, we can look at the word Shiva, Siva. Okay, Siva in French means if go. Okay, Siva is known as the if go principle. Okay, and basically the creator of the Kala Chakra, and then he entered it, etc. Okay, now we have Vishnu. Okay, now we've talked in previous videos. Vishnu, Vinu. Okay, naked sight in French. Okay, all pervading, seeing everything. Okay, being everywhere, all pervading. Okay, that's Vishnu. Okay, so we've talked about how through my experience. Okay, starting off as my soul being part Buddha, part Shiva, part Archangel Raphael. Okay, basically when the soul entered the body with that combination of those three at the level of heaven, okay, Vishnu was achieved. Okay, and then different things happen at the level of my enlightenment, such as, well, obviously enlightenment, where enlightenment is when you have your symbol on the strip of symbols, the Turing strip, and it basically stops on your symbol with its flag, its color, if you will, and the symbol on it, and then you have the on the other, in my case, on the other Turing symbol, the other symbol, okay, on the other strip. Okay, that's enlightenment. Then your symbol enters the field of enlightenment, and you're experiencing so many things at the same time. It's unbelievable. Okay, but there's a difference between enlightenment, okay, and basically also forging your link on the chain of infinity, okay, that resides above the field of enlightenment, okay, which is another thing that I did, and I left the half link open there if anyone ever wants to come forge a link and thinks that they're ready to do so. Okay, and then that's a level where I have to accept, and everybody else that has a link has to accept. Okay, joining another link. Now, Vishnu. Okay, so Vishnu, Vinu. Okay, so we look in text and we see, okay, there's always an example. Okay, there's one Shiva. Okay, but when we talk about Kalki, we hear that Kalki Vishnu might appear in many different forms, many different bodies. Okay, so one easy way to look at this is basically we've talked about how Vishnu is the goal of the Kala Chakra, the goal of the calculation machine that is the Kala Chakra. So when a cube basically that contains a being, if you will, a system, basically gets enlightened and basically ends up making the journey and reaching the center of the Kala Chakra, that basically calculates the success of the equation of the Kala Chakra, which is governed by an equation, right? And at that point, that person becomes, if you want, the Sadguru, becomes the center of the Kala Chakra, right? The energy center and all these things. And then, if someone gets there, it's because the potential is there, right? So now, what do we do with this situation? What is there to do with this situation? There's absolutely nothing to do with this situation. Things just are the way they are. Okay. Now, as far as Vishnu, okay, so we talk, Shiva, there's one being. Vishnu has multiple bodies, right? It's something that we hear, okay, and that makes sense, okay, because as an avatar of Shiva here at this level, I have my place in the story as that person, as the creator of the Kala Chakra. I created the Kala Chakra and entered it with the purpose of creating life and the purpose of creating the means for Vishnu, which I also used apart from full sight, okay, which is full sight greater than enlightenment. Now we're talking full sight. But what I also did is I also used it to rewrite stuff and to prioritize our level of existence within this Kala Chakra as number one, basically within the priority levels of the greater computer within we were in, to secure a position and also to secure the other positions too. Okay, because when you're talking about space and memory within a computer, a lot of things can happen really quickly. So what you want to do is, if you ever see a vulnerability or something like that, then you have to basically make a time décalage, where time moves differently within and without, different levels, so that you ensure the eternal aspect of everything and all levels of creation. It takes a lot of management, and it's something that, quite frankly, I think is best left to me. Okay, so at this point, and not even me right now at this point, let's just say me at my best when I was working on that stuff. Now, Vishnu, okay, so looking multiple bodies. So how can we see that in one way? Okay, well, you have an avatar of Shiva, okay, me, okay, which is also an avatar of Vishnu, okay. But we've talked about in Zenwara how you can have a goal, after enlightenment, basically, and basically this could happen at the time of your enlightenment, but you'll basically manifest it out after your enlightenment, so putting it in the physical, basically, you know, and you'll understand more as you're manifesting it after enlightenment as well. Okay, so what are you doing basically? Um, you're basically making that manifestation of reaching the center of the Kala chakra. Okay, so once you've become enlightened, you make your preparations, all that. Then you make the move to the journey of the center of the Kala chakra. Okay, in a way you've already gotten there, and in a way you haven't until you have. Okay, you'll see. Okay. So what do we have multiple Vishnus? How can we have multiple forms of Vishnu? Okay, with what you've explained, how Vishnu is Vinu and all this. Okay, with multiple forms of Vishnu basically means is that we're going to start having multiple people who are enlightened, who become enlightened. First of all, that's the first one. Getting people to enlightenment, and then there's no reason that enlightenment, the other step, can't happen. Okay, so what we have basically is now that it's been calculated and done and all this, the path is open. I've opened the path. I've opened the bridge. The you know the boats arrived. It's basically now it's you now everybody can do it. Okay, so just listen to the teachings of all faiths, all traditions, all that. Also, the teachings of Zenwara I recommend personally. Okay, and basically learn to develop yourself and grow as a person, as a spiritual being. Okay, now. So how do we have multiple Vishnus basically? Well, very simply, we have multiple people that reach the center of the Kala chakra. Okay, so there's no preclusion that's stopping someone from getting to the center. Okay, we already have what's it called, the established energy center and all these things, but as far as reaching the achievements, which is basically the knowledge, of full sight, Vishnu, we can have other people that can come and achieve this, and then I would ask that they make the commitment personally, especially if they use if they followed my advice on this channel, to once they attain Vishnu, to come back down into body, so that they can contribute back to the world. Okay. So how can we have multiple Vishnus? Multiple people that reach the center of the Kala chakra. Okay, that by reaching the center of the Kala chakra, succeed in the equation of their cube within the Kala chakra, in reaching the center of the Kala chakra, at which point, there's Vishnu, full sight, which is basically, that's why I say in a way, you are who you are and all that, so I am in a way, so I am, a part of my soul is Shiva, another part Buddha, another archangel, so I am Shiva. Okay, in this level of creation, an avatar of Shiva, a descent into body, at the level of the soul, descent into body. Okay, so I am Shiva, I am Rawa because that's the name I've taken. I am Raphael because that's the name I've been given. Okay, etc. Okay, I am a Buddha because that's what I've achieved. Okay, I am Shri because that's what I am as far as energy centers. I am Bhagwan because that's what I've achieved. That's who I am. Okay, and it goes on like that. But, there's, in Quebec, there's an old way of seeing something where someone would say, something dit this. You know, it would be Pépin dit l'heureux. And Z would mean it was his nickname almost. It's what people called him. It's who he was, how he was. So in a way, you could say Shiva dit Vishnu. All right, it's a way of saying it. So that's how we could end up having multiple forms of Vishnu and in body basically over time. Okay, all right. So a lot of information in this video. Okay, um, you know, I would say concentrate on becoming enlightened. Okay, concentrate on the teachings that I've taught about visualizing. Okay, where you've got two stages. Okay, in your meditation. You download energy from above, the divine energy through your head into your body, and you store it in your heart in one phase. And then in the other phase, you distribute it to the kingdom around you. And the kingdom around you is the creation around you, basically, the life that exists around you, that you give to the world. Okay? And the world that's built around you. Okay? So that's one way to practice. And many other ways I've taught on this channel. Okay? So if you're interested in these things, you know, let's say concentrate on becoming enlightened, become a Buddha, for example. Okay? You can become a saint, you can become an enlightened master. Okay? You know, depending on your faith, your tradition, you might have different words for the concept of becoming enlightened. Okay? We have different words because we share you know, the pleasure of belonging to a multitude of faiths and cultures and traditions. So, become the equivalent of a Buddha. Okay? Become enlightened. Have your symbol light up, your symbol, your flag, and all that on the field of enlightenment. See potentially your flag multiply on all on the doorways of the tunnels of the Kala Chakra. Yeah. Carry your, protect your core and your symbol on the level of the vibrationary field of enlightenment. And when you get to the field of enlightenment, the vibrationary field of enlightenment, come seek us out. You know, ask around for the heart with the wavy line. He's known around there. All right. So, one of the ways of seeing how you can have multiple forms of Vishnu, okay, multiple forms of Kalki, okay, or Kalki arriving in many bodies, okay, because Kalki is basically refers to an avatar of Vishnu, okay, and Vishnu, an avatar of Vishnu, is an avatar of someone who's obtained full sight, okay. I'm an interesting case because I'm an avatar of Shiva that attained Vishnu. Okay, so basically, as an avatar of Shiva that became enlightened and then attained Vishnu. Okay, so yeah, and who basically finalized his story, you know, as a spiritual being, you know, so you can get to that point eventually where you're going to you go through the different stages and all this, and you know, you have your individuality, you know, you have your person, who you are, your story and all that. I have mine, you know, it's built this way, the system, so that everybody has their place, their individuality, their own personal story. It makes it interesting, you know. Mine was obviously interesting. I hope yours is interesting and you enjoy it too. Okay, so that's how we can say that we have multiple forms of Vishnu. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? I've got a couple notes here. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so one of the reasons why we can say, you know, I think at this point, if everybody practiced, if everybody followed the teachings, had a proper instructor for daily practice, and I could come in and give a couple of pointers here and there. I think that we would be on a path where we could get almost everyone enlightened. Okay, I mean almost everyone, everybody who would try. I'm pretty sure that we could do that. It's just it would take a good amount of practice. Okay, it would be an undertaking in itself. Okay, and then from there, from enlightenment, can we get anyone to the level of Vishnu? Uh, you know, uh, we'll see. We'll see. I wanted to create some videos on this, just to kind of to share that. But I do want to reassure everyone, to let everyone know that if there is ever another link created on the chain of infinity that governs all of creation, we will be judging very selectively to see if we allow someone else to join that. In the meantime, it is, as usual, quite secure, and if I may say so, even more secure since I joined it. Okay, so thanks for listening to this video. Kind of details, and I think that this makes sense in a way too. There's one Siva, there's one operating principle, right? As I entered the Kala Chakra, I set it into motion, okay? And Devi, who I lived with in my loka, in my realm, entered it before me, and she became basically the computer, the system of it, okay? The software. She was the software. And I set it in motion when I entered, okay? So I'm the Siva, as I entered, if go. If enter, then go, boom, that's me. All right, so there's one if go principle, okay, but you can have multiple people who get full sight, and I think that's one way to show the difference a little bit between that. Okay, so we can have Vishnu used as a name of God, yes, because God is Vishnu. Okay, and for all intents and purposes, anyone who is Vishnu is God. Okay? However, when we're talking about gods, it becomes complex. Okay? Because I'll tell you honestly, I think we can get everyone enlightened. 100%. If we work on this hard, we can get everyone enlightened. But reaching the center of the Kala Chakra, that's a big one. Okay? It takes some work, even if you're enlightened. Okay, so I hope to have the opportunity to work with some of you sometime in the future, and we can basically take a look on how we approach your path, because I think it's important to have a path with a clear objective. For example, I want to become enlightened. I will do what it takes to become enlightened. That's a good one. That's the approach I like. And basically, I'm willing to make the sacrifices that I have to make sure I become enlightened. Okay, sacrifices are usually at the level of time, daily activities, stuff like that. You're gonna have to practice. Okay, so looking forward to that. Please leave comments in the chat if you have any questions. I'm not sure that I'll be able to respond to all of your questions. But if I can, I will respond, and please let me know if there's any subjects of interest that you'd be interested in me talking about in future videos, and we can take a look at that at the same time. Thanks for listening.